What's going on, my friends? So today I will be reviewing the BenQ XL2410T 3D ready 120Hz 23.6-inch LED monitor. It retails for around $370 at stores like NCIX. As you can see from some of the features like 3D and 120Hz, this monitor was meant for gaming. It's a TN panel, which main strengths are ideal for games with fast pixel response and low input lag versus IPS and VA panels, which are more suited for color accuracy and great contrast. It was also developed in part by two professional Counter-Strike players, Hedon and Spawn, who are well known in the CS scene and are constantly ranked as some of the top players in the world. Back to the monitor. As usual, I will start off with the cons and end off on a good note with the pros. The first con I found for this monitor was the out-of-box picture characteristics. The default presets are way too bright and the colors are oversaturated and washed out, and gamma was off-target. This is the most apparent in the FPS picture mode, which for some reason is the setting when you first turn on your 2410. This mode definitely doesn't do it justice. However, once you spend time fiddling around with the settings and calibrating it properly, picture quality improves drastically and is in line or even slightly better than most other TN panels. I used the standard mode and adjusted the brightness and contrast along with the RGB levels to these settings to get the optimal picture quality in my eyes. Another very small con I found, and this will only bug people who will use the screen to display images being filmed, is that as you can see on camera the screen flickers. To the eye, it's actually crystal clear and flicker free, just like my other two screens, but for some reason when this screen is being filmed, there is a slight flicker. This is at 60Hz mode, and at 120Hz the flicker is even more. But like I said, this won't bug most people as very few will be filming their 2410 like I am right now. A last con I found, and this is only in the older batches and I only knew about this while reading forums, is backlight bleed. If you happen to get an older 2410, manufactured before May of 2011, with firmware 004 or older, you may have this backlight problem. Luckily, however, if you are in the market to buy a new 2410, 99% chance you will get a newer manufactured model made after May 2011. As you can see with mine, which is firmware revision 007 with a manufacture date of June 2011, my backlight bleed is almost non-existent. Now on to the pros. The first is its gaming performance. I'm a big fan of first-person shooter games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, and going from a 60Hz screen to 120 is like night and day difference. There is a very perceivable difference in the responsiveness and motion of the screen. Everything feels much smoother in-game, from panning your screen around, searching for enemies, and aiming and tracking moving targets. Also, professional flat-screen reviewers like TFT Central and Flat Panels HD measured virtually zero input lag for this screen, with TFT Central actually recording the 2410 as having the lowest average input lag of all the screens they've tested. This screen actually improved my kill-death ratio because of this extra speed and motion clarity. Another pro is the design of the monitor itself. Although not the most aesthetically pleasing in terms of looks, this monitor seems like it was built from the ground up based around functionality and performance. The stand is height as well as tilt, pivot, and swivel adjustable, meaning you can position the monitor exactly how you want it for perfect ergonomics. This is very important if you plan on using your screen for hours on end, as having a screen perfectly positioned helps reduce eye strain as well as maintain your proper posture. Also, the screen does not have a glossy finish, but rather a matte surface, which is also good in terms of functionality, as you won't be seeing reflections off lights behind you, or if you go into dark scenes on your screen. This is more a preference thing, as some may prefer glossy screens as they sometimes make the image appear more vibrant. If I were to choose the perfect screen finish, I would choose the half gloss, half matte finish of my BenQ XL2410T screen, as in my opinion it provides the best of both worlds. A last big pro is the feature list of this monitor. As I already touched on, it has pretty much all the main features you can ask for, like LED technology, 120Hz, 3D compatibility, 2 millisecond gray to gray response time, and height adjustable stand. The only feature this doesn't have is an IPS or VA panel for better color reproduction and contrast. But like I said, the screen was built for games anyways, and speed and responsiveness is the main concern, which TN panels excel at. With 3D, although I don't plan on using it anytime soon, it's a nice feature to have just in case I ever do plan on getting some 3D glasses and watching movies / playing 3D games in the future. Also, the newer, bigger brother to the 2410T, the 2420, has also been recently released, so this monitor will now be going lower in price. Another big plus for a monitor packed with so many features. So all in all, I'm very pleased with the purchase of this monitor, and though I have 2 other screens, this is the only one I use when I game. After using a 120Hz screen in games, I cannot go back to 60. It's kinda like going back to your less attractive, past her prime ex-girlfriend after you've found a hotter, more fit broad to bang. It's packed with features and is one of the best performers for games, especially high-paced first-person shooters, where fast response and reaction time is a difference between getting owned or doing the owning. If you're in the market for a decently priced 120Hz monitor, I highly recommend taking a look at one of these. So I hope you all enjoyed my review of the BenQ XL2410T monitor. If you did, please rate, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, bros and girls, peace!